Blessed be all my people out there. I hope you are all doing very well. This video is long overdue, and we're going to finally talk about who is the bunny that has kind of become the mascot of my channel over the course of this last year or so. Also get a chance to understand a little bit more about the Jade Rabbit, also known as Yutu or Gyokuto, and what he's all about, and also get you familiar with one of my 5 main deities. Now, for those of you who are curious, yes, you've probably noticed just by looking at all of my social media posts, and if you've ever watched my videos, I am, of course, a magical practitioner, and I've been on my path for a very, very long time, since the late 90s, and so over that period, I've become acquainted with many different spirits and many different deities. But I didn't actually start working with deities until I was probably about 10 years into my practice, and that's when I met the goddess Brigid, or became better acquainted, I should say, more personally acquainted with her in about 2005, 2006. But we'll talk about her in another video here shortly. In this video, I want to talk all about the Jade Rabbit and what he is here for, and what you might want to know about him if you've ever felt called to work with him or approach him. I actually got pushed to make this video today. I was actually having kind of a weird day energetically earlier, and I decided to go out for a bit of a walk just to kind of clear my head, get out of the apartment, and, you know, take some space. And I ended up coming across this holly branch and it fell out of a tree somewhere. Didn't know where it was. I haven't seen any holly in this neighborhood, but there it was on the ground, and so I picked it up and brought it back, and as I was bringing it back, Bunny kind of told me, hey, guess what? Give it to me. And so he's been kind of swatting a lot of, just less savory energies and less savory presences away, so I can, of course, make this video for you. And that's kind of one of the things about the Jade Rabbit you gotta understand. He is always there to help you do your good work. But also, that's why I think he makes a really, really good mascot for this channel. So the Jade Rabbit is a very, very ancient deity and very famous throughout almost all of Eastern Asia, as well as also India, and even going into some oceanic places. He is a lunar deity, which of course fits perfectly with me. As you know, I am very much the one attuned to the moon as, Son of Selene, or formerly Scarlet Moon. And he is also a deity that is very approachable for people that might be maybe new on the path, or maybe you're not looking for a committed connection with the deity, but your practice is more about connecting with deities on a more case-by-case basis. Some paths do that. I do not, but some paths do, and he is compatible. He is friendly to that kind of engagement. Not all of my deities are, and not all of my deities are beginner-friendly. There are certain deities that I have that are good to beginners and are not really commitment-focused. Jade Rabbit's one, Goddess Brigid is another. But with others, you want to take your time and you want to make sure that you are earnestly walking your own path before you reach out and connect. We don't want to approach deities with the mindset of, what can they do for me and what I'm going through? That is not the way, that is not the path. The Jade Rabbit is a deity that is all about purity, generosity, kindness, love, but also holds all of the lunar qualities that we come to understand, the power of psychic ability, intuition, purification. He is also representative of the cycles of transformation, transmutation, life, death, and rebirth, elevation of consciousness, and of course, spiritual travel, and anything to do with spiritual movement and magic. He is a strong helper deity, and it is his job to create the elixir of immortality for the gods. He is also a potion master, and one that can be a wonderful deity if you are looking to expand your knowledge of any kind of spiritual uses, understandings, or correspondences with herbs, with plants, and he's also a powerful purifier. He also commands what Western alchemical practitioners would call the alkahest energy, which is the force that is considered the universal solvent that cleanses and purifies all energies and all things. And so when I work with him, what I like to do is I like to present him with herbs and plant matter to cleanse and purify them of all energies and all things that could have ever become registered on them or attached to them in order to have them be completely pure. I also work with him when I am crafting things like potions and charms and spells that involve a lot of herbal correspondences, and entrust him with actually setting everything into their perfect balance and harmony. And so he is always able to immediately attune to what is your true soul's path, as well as also help you to enhance your quality of life as a deity of love and generosity. One of the things you want to keep in mind, however, when it comes to the rabbit is that he is one that is focusing on enhancing your life. So if you do feel called to work with him, you want to make sure that you don't try to get him involved with what we could consider too many dramas. It's one thing to call for help when you are working on trying to manifest something, you're trying to heal something or transform or purify something. It's another thing to get him involved in things that he has no business with. Peace is the ultimate priority, as well as also authentic love and authentic purity. That is what the Jade Rabbit is all about. He is also very good at helping to discern truth. We think about the ears as the symbol of divine hearing, the ability to hear all things. In this case, for him, hear all thoughts, but to also sort all things and sort all thoughts. He is actually a very good deity for anybody who may live with any kind of mental circumstance where they are prone to hearing a lot of unwanted and intrusive thoughts. I myself have OCD, which is not so much a behavioral thing, right? It's more of like a mental electrical issue. It's physical. And so he's very helpful for me in that regard. And for those of you with OCD or OCD's cousin Tourette's, this is going to be a great deity for you to work with because he will actually be able to hear everything that's going on with you and again help you to remember that your thoughts are just your thoughts and they are not really what your conscious effort is. And we live in a world where a lot of really bad misinformation about how thoughts and manifestation and energy and attraction and magical thinking do and don't work. And a lot of that stuff can be really, really unhelpful and very harmful for people that are working the old school path or people who are working, maybe living with OCD or Tourette's or something like that. And so this can be a really helpful deity because he reminds us that no, what the thoughts that are conscious efforts are the ones that work. Not the unconscious thoughts and not the extra crud that might be going on in your energy field. He is also a really, really helpful deity for helping to create what is going to help attract best or shift best the change that you would like to see come forward through your spells or, again, your potion craft. And so what I like to do when I'm working with him is whether I'm presenting him with plant matter, which he uses however he wants to use, I also present him with basically the raw ingredients of different potions that I might be trying to make. Maybe it's a potion for money that turns into a charm. I don't drink it, I don't pour it out, I don't spill it, I let it actually vibrate what it is. And so with him, for those of you who are beginners and you're not used to working with your energy, you could already get down to business starting with that by assembling, maybe in a jar, a potion of whatever combination of herbs you want for the intention that you have, and then present it to him with an offering. He likes sweets. Mochi and daifuku are, of course, going to be the best, but you can also present candy, you can present fruits. We all know rabbits love raspberries and bananas, and give him offerings that he will also take in exchange for charging and setting the potion yourself. It's a very simple procedure. All you do is take your bottle, cleanse and purify it, write down your intention of what you want to have, and then you put that in the bottle. However, Pay close attention. This is very important. As this is a being that is all about purity, truth, authenticity, and peace, you will not be able to get him to do anything that is going to attempt to control the free will or the free thoughts of another person. That means no love spells, no manipulation spells. And again, that could teach us a very important lesson too. A life that could be destroyed by purity, truth, and authenticity is not really a very good life to hold on to. If you're looking to add herbs together so that he could maybe make something happen like attract a good situation into your life, that's a completely different matter. He's down for that. You could ask for money, you could ask for a new home, you could ask for help with your studies and concentration, with healing with something, or maybe you're looking to cleanse and purify your space or have a potion that will continue to regularly cleanse and purify your space. Or you can also ask him to, of course, bring, attract in the best friends, the best connections, whatever you want. Just don't ask him to do anything that is going to create an artificial reality. He will not participate. At best, he'll just kind of sit back and go, what else you got? At worst, he won't show up. He is also a really good deity for helping you find the best soul connections for yourself, or help you to activate soul connections that actually resonate with you on that deep, true inner soul spark level. And so he knows not only how to hear it, but how to see it and find it. And so that would also be something you could do if you wanted to make offerings to him in ceremony. You could pray to him, however you wanted to make that happen. He is also one who works very well with other deities. In fact, he actually works very well with Cernunnos, the horned god of nature. They actually have a very, very close relationship. The goddess Bast, you might not think so. You might think cats and rabbits, do they get along? Go on YouTube like I do sometimes and let your heart be warmed by all of the cats and rabbits being best friends. He gets on very well with Bridget, who also prioritizes purification, healing, and the hearth and the home. And believe it or not, he also has a very close, loving relationship with Ereshkigal, the OG Mesopotamian goddess of the underworld. And it's kind of interesting when you go and explore different myths and different mythologies and how they might overlap from the ancient world. When we look at ancient Mesopotamia and Sumer, it can be kind of hard because a lot of the tablets and a lot of the correspondences are broken and are not completely found. But going down my own ancienttexts.org rabbit hole, I was able to find a few things that, of course, made this all the more clear that this is one of my deities. Not only did I actually have a lot of rabbit stuff when I was much younger, when I was a little kid. I used to actually play with stuffed animals with my younger brother, like you do, and we would all have our favorites and our characters, and actually mine was a white rabbit that was actually an Easter rabbit that's just, had the egg break off. But he actually was very much an energy that was already trying to, of course, make himself known in my consciousness back then. In fact, a lot of our deities do. But one of the things I found very interesting is that working with Ereshkigal, I was actually curious how would she ever get along with somebody like the Jade Rabbit, and it turned out to be better than I could have expected. Now, in East Asia, he is, of course, the companion of the goddess Chang'e, the moon goddess. But with Ereshkigal, what I found interesting is that when you look at her lineage, she is actually descended from deities that ruled the moon. In essence, before she became the goddess of the underworld, she was the moon goddess herself, or a moon goddess herself. And the first time I worked with him and Ereshkigal in the same place, it was a very emotional scene. It was almost like connecting a pet that ran away from home. And it was very powerful. I don't know how to describe it. And every time I talk about it, I get kind of choked up. He even gets along with the goddess of death, probably closer than anybody else in this group. He's a very, very friendly, very loving, and very compassionate deity. But you have to understand respect with him. And you also need to understand that he himself is always looking out for what everyone belongs with for their best. So if you can keep an open mind and put your faith in him, he's a perfect deity to actually approach. make a potion, make a little craft, make something and offer it to him to take into his power and let him start to work his work in your world. So that's the Jade Rabbit as a little introduction. We'll come back and talk about him more and more, and I'll be talking more about my other deities again, because, like I said, I've got quite a few. I've got the Goddess of the Flame and Forge, the Cat Goddess, Daughter of Ra, the Horned God of Nature, the OG Goddess of Death, and a bunny. And so we have lots to talk about and more on him to talk about here very soon. But I hope this gives you a little bit more to know about me and how I vibe. You can always see in a practitioner what they're all about through the deities they vibe with most. You all take care, and I'll see you again soon.